All right, what is up everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video, and today we are going over the mind-blowing Nintendo Direct on Xenoblade Chronicles 3, or I should say the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Direct. There was a lot to unpack, and I wanted to go over why this is absolutely 100% a major franchise for Nintendo. I mean, if it wasn't already clear, it's clear now at this point, and this game is definitely going to be a must-buy for Xenoblade fans and for RPG fans out there, because it is doing things that I have never seen a Xenoblade game do before, and quite frankly, even a Nintendo Switch game before. And even if you compare it to other RPGs on other systems, it does a lot of things those RPGs don't even do. So this is by far a unique and incredible experience. That Nintendo Direct, or that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Direct, was absolutely incredible. So let's go ahead and detail some of those things. Then I will go over what my big takeaways were, and of course all the reasoning for me saying it is a major franchise for Nintendo and also a must buy. Before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first. Now, publisher Nintendo and developer Monolith Soft have released a new trailer, gameplay, information, and screenshots for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and also what we're going to talk about in just a bit here, a $29.99 season or expansion pass was also announced. Now, as the latest entry in the critically acclaimed role-playing series, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 connects the futures of the two previous mainline Xenoblade Chronicles games. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 can also serve as an entry point for anyone looking to become engrossed in an immersive RPG world with dynamic characters, a rich narrative, and epic scope. So this is one of the biggest questions that I get asked about, hey, should I play the previous ones? Yes, you should. Obviously, it connects those futures with these games. However, you can use this as an entry point, and if you like what you're playing, then delve into Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and also Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because this game has a whole new cast of main characters and its own self-contained story as well. Now, in Ionios, the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, there are two opposing nations, Kevis and Angus, whose soldiers fight every day with their lives on the line. 6 soldiers hailing from both these warring nations are tasked to take part in a special mission. Can these characters, once filled with mutual hatred, find a path that lets them all live? In this spell-binding tale, you'll get to journey with these fate-defying hopefuls to learn the truths of their world, a place where every victory in battle and each setback is another chance to change the course of history and triumph over an uncertain destiny. Now, here are just a few of the features and activities that you can expect on your quest. Now, you can explore this vast world, and this is a full open world according to Nintendo on the website here. So Ionios features breathtaking natural splendor that stands in the contrast of the grim conflict waged between the two nations. Traversing Ionios, the locations you visit are saved as landmarks that you can quickly select and travel to, making traversing this giant world more manageable. Wander freely or follow a trail to your next destination by enabling a navigation feature. I love that feature. That is a good quality of life feature, and I was so upset when they took it out of Xenoblade Chronicles X, because it was in that game and they took it out for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Torna, so I'm glad to see that it's back in. Now, as you explore, you'll encounter a range of surreal landmarks and diverse wildlife. And just like the lands they inhabit, the life forms here range from docile to dangerous. Some creatures, like the notorious demonic Krenolor, make no secret of their ferocious tendencies, so approach with caution. The next thing here is learn the arts of battle. When you're ready to enter a fight, you can harness powerful abilities called arts. To strive for victory, some arts can throw opponents off balance, some inflict more damage based on where you attack, and some even heal allies. You can link multiple arts with the stunning chain attacks to unleash havoc on your enemies. As you become more experienced in battle, you'll be able to learn powerful master arts and fusion arts for even more devastating attacks. And I love the fusion arts. The master art stuff is cool because you can change classes in this game and you can learn certain arts that you can even do when you're in a different class. So it's going to be really cool for customization that way. But the fusion arts is when you combine two arts together, almost kind of like a la Chrono Trigger's dual text and triple text, but with a singular person with fusion arts. So I do love that about this battle system. Now, next up is find rests and quests at colonies. Explore the land. You'll get to scale cliffs, ascend sandy slopes, zipline across ropes, and sail the seas. While the stakes may be high, you can enjoy the world at your own pace and discover colonies where you'll shop, dine, and get to know residents and take up quests. You can catch a glimpse of the lives of Noah and his friends at these colonies and rest spots. Use materials you collect to cook or craft gems to strengthen your abilities. It's nice to relax and unwind before taking the next slice of awe-inspiring scenery or felling your next outlandish foe. Once again, very cool, huge open world, lots of different stuff to do, lots of places to go, and just enjoy the game. And I love how they said explore at your own pace. I don't like when RPGs put time limits and constraints on you for something, so I love the fact that you can play the game at your pace. You want to do a bunch of side quests and level up and cook and get more stuff, you can do that. You want to just go through the story and play, you can do that as well. Now, we talked about this a little bit before, but let's go and get into a bit more in depth. Master character classes. Each character in your party has a class that influences how they battle. The sword fighter leads the fight as a well-balanced attacker, but there are many other classes that specialize in healing, defense, and powerful strikes, among other abilities. You can freely swap the character you're controlling in battle, which was awesome to see them actually do it and confirm once again, because there was some confusion about that. And your class can also be changed to match that of your allies, spending time learning multiple classes for a well-rounded team. Now, you can also recruit heroes to your party, and this is one of the best features. It's essentially taking like the blade system and making it not lame. And of course, giving opportunities for previous heroes from different Xenoblade games to jump into this. So your journey through Xenoblade Chronicles 3 will feature a party of 6 main characters, but brave residents of Ionios, called heroes, can lend their arms and aptitude to the team as your 7th party member. Only one hero at a time can assist on the battlefield, but you can swap them out as you see fit. And they bring their own special classes to your team, like Guardian Commander, Incursor, and War Medic. Your party members can even take on any of the hero classes as they become your allies. By recruiting more heroes, you'll grow the combination of classes and arts in your party, widening the breadth of your strategic options. So once again, another layer on top of a layer. You already have multiple different classes that you have, but then you can also have these hero classes, which your characters can also adapt as well, learn master arts, customize after you're done with that class. I mean, it is a fantastic way, almost a little bit like a Bravely Default light-ish type of deal going on here with these classes and what you can do with them. So I do love that, but it's still uniquely Xenoblade, which is what's most important with this game, that it stays true to Xenoblade and add in their own mechanics, but then also take some cool things that you have seen in other games as well. Now, you can fuse into the Ouroboros, and this is one of the coolest things. This kind of reminds me of the Xenoblade Chronicles X Overdrive system, but done in a completely unique and different type of way, with these big transformations that totally look like the artifices in Xenoblade Chronicles. And heck, one even looks like Cosmos as well, and you know it was a nod or a reference to Cosmos, so that's awesome. So, by joining together in battle through interlinking, 2 characters in your party can fuse into a fiercely powerful form known as an Ouroboros. Earn points in battle to make the already mightiest Ouroboros even stronger. Ouroboros can also join chain attacks with the rest of the party, clear out the battlefield by using the mighty Ouroboros arts. And what they revealed in this one here is the fact that each character, because when you do an Ouroboros fusion, it's 2 party members that are linked together. However, you can shift forms, one being like a female form and one being a male form. And they revealed that in the recent Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Direct, which just blew my mind, because now instead of having 3 Ouroboros, you now have 6 Ouroboros, which I mistakenly said 12 because I wasn't thinking and I can't count, but you know, I got corrected. I can count now. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now you can have up to 6, which is just incredible. Another layer on top of that, which you can level up your Ouroboros and kind of just wreak havoc on the battlefield with that. So very excited with that transformation. Now, expansion pass content. This is where things get interesting again, because the little picture that they showed off here, yeah, you've got all 3 of the Monados, quote unquote, on this expansion pass picture. So that just tells you there is definitely going to be some Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 1 characters in this expansion pack in some way, shape, or form, just like Xenoblade Chronicles X and Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was represented in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 with the DLC. So, broaden the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 game with a paid expansion pass. The additional content that will be released in 4 waves from the game's launch through the end of 2023 will enhance your journey through Anianios. The content will include helpful items, new outfits and color variants, challenge battles, new quests, new hero characters, and even a new story scenario. The Xenoblade Chronicles 3 expansion pass will be available for pre-order in the Nintendo eShop later today for $29.99. So let's talk about this, because this whole thing is over the scope of about a year and a half, because July 29th, 2022, that's when the first expansion pass content drops. It's helpful items, outfit color variations. Now, releasing by December 31st, 2022, so it's sometime in between July 29th and the end of this year, you have a challenge battle, new hero character and quests, new outfits. Now, releasing by April 30th, 2023, you have another challenge battle, you have new hero character and quests, and also new outfits. Now, releasing by December 31st, 2023, so it could be up until that point. Doesn't mean it's going to be right on that date, but up until then, brand new story scenario. So that is awesome. Let's talk about this just a little bit, because some people were a little bit upset or feel like they're paywalling content, but I'm guessing these people did not play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in the expansion pass, because Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was already a full, complete game with the beginning and end and hundreds of hours of content already packed in. And the expansion pass for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 just added a bunch of extra stuff. I mean, you don't really need it. It's just kind of for like the hardcore fans. And it added in like the Shulk and Fiora, what we saw there, Xenoblade Chronicles X, all that stuff that's kind of just like fan content. So I'm guessing this is going to be the same type of stuff here as they kind of get that worked in there. And of course, the brand new story scenario, they said the same thing last time, and that was Torna. Torna was pretty much big enough and had enough content to be its own standalone game. So I'm not sure if they're going to do that again as a standalone game with Xenoblade Chronicles 3's expansion pass, but what we do know is that this is probably going to be a substantial amount of content based on Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So I think that this is going to be phenomenal if you're a core Xenoblade fan, and if you're somebody who's just getting into Xenoblade, you might not need this expansion pass. But for those hardcore Xenoblade fans that love Xenoblade 1, 2, and Torna and X and all of that, this is probably going to be a must play, must buy type of expansion pass. I know I'm going to be copping it pretty much as soon as possible, which is like today. So I'm definitely gonna go get it. But yeah, we do have a little bit more information here for you guys. It doesn't stop. We have Amiibo support as well. So Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is compatible with Amiibo accessories. Tap any compatible Amiibo to acquire helpful in-game items for your adventure. Tap the Shulk Amiibo to change a character's sword to appear as the Monado, the iconic weapon from the original Xenoblade Chronicles game, when using the Sword Fighter class. So of course, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is due out for the Nintendo Switch on July 29th. Of course, you guys are seeing the new trailer and content, and this is, once again, absolutely incredible to see everything that is happening right now. So I do want to go over a few things that I really liked about this Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Direct and the game itself. So the combat. I think that this is probably one of the most underrated things with Xenoblade Chronicles, because the world and the graphics and the music, all that stuff is awesome. But I think the combat definitely gets a lot of, I would say, misconceptions about it. But I feel that they've refined things so much in this game, it's going to feel a lot better to play. And I'm really hoping that they have some HD rumble support with the Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller to kind of feel the different types of attacks with the different classes. That would be awesome if that was implemented. Now, obviously, the seamless battles, you can just fight right then and there. I was talking about this on my live stream, but games like Tales of Arise, for example, is supposedly like, like a next gen or obviously a current generation type of game, and you still load up into a battle screen and the arenas are smaller, where you see a game like this with Xenoblade Chronicles where you have these huge, massive open worlds, and then you seamlessly go right into an action RPG battle. So I love that about this game, and you don't see it very often with a lot of these big RPGs. So it's good to see that Monolith Soft is pushing that little Nintendo Switch to its freaking brink at this point with the graphics and the combat in this game. Up to 7 party members, 6 main cast, plus your hero, all fighting at the same time, and everything's seemingly holding up very stably in the game. So I do love that. Now, graphically, they've made some more updates to the game. I actually did a little bit of a comparison before. If you haven't seen my previous comparison with the graphics, check it out. But from just the eyeball test from me watching, they've definitely tweaked it even a bit more, and it seems like it's either the final build or very near final build of the game, because everything is just looking finely tuned. The shading, the lighting, everything is looking very good in the game, so I do love that about it. Now, story-wise, it looks like it's going to be absolutely incredible. The story seems like it's going to be somber, but it's going to have its lighthearted moments, and it's really going to tell a tale of what's happening on this planet and intertwine some of the best storytelling mechanics that Monolith Soft is known for. So I'm very hyped about the story in this game as a huge Monolith Soft and, of course, just a huge Xenoblade lore fan. Now, the English voice acting is definitely better than previous Xeno games, so I don't feel that we have to worry about the voice acting in the game, so that's awesome. Heroes are a big thing that I'm very excited about as well, because obviously this is going to be the way that we get to play as Shulk, we get to play as Rex or Pyra or Mithra, or at least have them on our team and equip them and all of that. So I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some really cool heroes, and even the heroes that they showed off. I mean, this guy with the dual guns, I mean, that was just super cool. And the fact that they have their own unique classes that you can then borrow, it just takes, like I said, the blade system just makes it way better, like 15, 20 times better than the blade system. And it's not going to be like a gotcha mechanic. You just meet them on your travels. So you have to make sure that you travel around and find all of these different heroes. And it looks like you can have a number of them. So very good on that front. And of course, the Ouroboros Transformations, 6 total. I did not expect that. I thought it was just going to be, hey, you have your transformations and that's what it is. But they went even a step further to have the male and female variants of the transformation. So I do love that. And of course, the chain attack with the Ouroboros, the fact that you can just kind of destroy the field and it plays a part into the central core and story of the game. Very cool as well. Love the transformations. And like I said, the Cosmos one, obviously that's a nod to Cosmos, so I love that. Now, the quality of life features, this has to be talked about. They talked about a little bit here in the rundown with the waypoints where you can set it and you'll actually visually see where you need to go and kind of what's happening there. Very good addition. There's so many times where I was just getting kind of schmixed out there on the field with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So I'm so happy that they added that back, because Xenoblade X had it, and this should be in like every huge major RPG, not just Xenoblade, but every single major large-scale RPG that has huge areas should definitely have like that breadcrumb trail or that highlighted trail that where if you want to go somewhere, you can highlight that on the map and you see it visually when you're playing the game. So very, very good on that. And of course, we talked about the season pass a little bit, right, in the rundown, and that looks like it's going to be awesome. I love Xeno 2 season pass, so this one's probably going to be just as good, if not better. And then of course, the open world. We've talked about this a bit as well, where you can kind of just traverse anywhere that you want. The seamlessness of it, the fact that you can have like a boat to travel by water as well, or you can just swim super fast, and just like the areas and the locations just look absolutely massive and incredible, and they're going to really reward you with experience and SP and new heroes if you explore every nook and cranny. This is a love letter to the Xenoblade fans out there, and I'm so excited that Nintendo and Monolith Soft invested in this franchise, because this franchise was on its deathbed potentially in the US about 10 years ago, right? About 10, 11 years ago. I mean, we didn't know what was going to happen with Xenoblade Chronicles as it started out as a new IP. So to see where it came from is just heartwarming, and I'm very, very happy about that. Now let's talk about the last two things here, guys, and that is the major franchise for Nintendo, and it's also what's going to be happening as a must-buy type of game. So clearly Nintendo's investing a large amount of money into Xenoblade Chronicles, and people talk about, oh, well, it hasn't sold this much or that much. Guys, it's not all just about sales, it's also about profitability, and I think that the profitability of Xenoblade Chronicles is far higher than what we even know. We don't know the sales of Torna, we don't know the sales of the expansion pack, but I'm guessing that Monolith Soft and Nintendo made millions upon millions upon millions of extra revenue on top of the 2 million plus that they sold of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because to put this amount of effort and this amount of time into a game like this, it's not easy, and you're going to need a lot of people, and it's going to take a lot of money. So I think that's where it kind of came from. This is a major franchise for Nintendo. I think that they're expecting it to be or more like to take that next step, almost like the transition from Fire Emblem had, right? From Fire Emblem Awakening to Fire Emblem Fates, and how Nintendo declared that it is a major franchise for them. I think Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is already there. I was thinking that maybe it wasn't, and this would prove it, but obviously what they've invested into this game by itself shows that, yeah, it's definitely there, and they're probably expecting 3 million plus in sales, considering Xenoblade Chronicles 2 did over 2 million, and that's outdated numbers, and that's not counting Torna and the expansion pass by itself, the DLC sales and also the physical sales of Torna. So that might be over 3 million units when it's all said and done. Nintendo just hasn't said anything, or it might be 3 million units as of right now as a major franchise for Nintendo. Now, next up is must buy. Now, if you're into Xenoblade, obviously this is going to be a must buy for you if you love the story and you love the games and everything. But if you are not, I think that once again, this can be a starting point into a series that could change your gaming life. I've had so many people reach out to me and say, OJ, you got me into Xenoblade, and it is a must buy for me. Every single game that I went out and I purchased Xenoblade Definitive Edition, and then I purchased 2, and I got Torna, and I got X, and I've been playing them, and they're all incredible. I think that if you're a big RPG fan, it's worth it to at least try the games out, or at least try Xenoblade 3 out. At worst, you don't like it, okay, whatever, at the end of the day, right? But what if you do end up liking it? To me, there's so many features, so much content, so many good things about it. Even if you're not a fan of the combat too much, the story itself is going to be worth it, especially if you get into the lore. So to me, this has become a must-buy type of game, not only for Xenoblade fans, but also for RPG fans out there, because you just don't see developers doing games like this anymore. You just don't see it. And this is one of the most impressive RPGs I have seen, period, at this point. And I've been playing RPGs for 3 decades plus now. So very, very excited to see Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and the reception that it gets. I do think that 3 million plus is definitely the minimum for this game, and I'm hoping that it can balloon up, especially after this, to maybe 4 or 5 million units when it's all said and done, years after release and everything. So hopefully it sells just as fast, if not faster, than Fire Emblem, which did over 3 million in less than a year. So I think that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 can definitely match what Fire Emblem 3 Houses did back in 2019, now that the Nintendo Switch has a higher install base and there's more and more people getting into Xenoblade Chronicles. But we're gonna have to wait and see on that one. But what are your thoughts when it comes to everything that we discussed here with Xenoblade Chronicles 3? What was your favorite parts of the presentation, or what are you looking forward to most in this game? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.